All right, guys, welcome to the Get Bit Podcast. If you have a fandom or if you're a nerd, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm host the most Will Buchanan, of course, the man to my left, your right, speaking how your screen is flipped because apparently he's used all his Italian.
I don't even have to say things anymore.
Just yes, it is Mario Day for all those that are wondering. It's I'm one day before my birthday, but yes, that's Joe. I'm Will. Together we are the Get Bit Podcast. Much like
I had a good one this time.
oh, go for it.
Punching a head, dinosaur in the back of the head to get some tongue. It's me, Joe Tonello.
And we are the Get Bit
The
Podcast.
Yoshi reference. I kept it clean. It's not my fault.
Yeah, you did well. You did well. I'm not complaining. Much like the WWE guys, we do have some adult language, but again, we're not cussing out. But at the same time, there may be some things we do show trailers on here that might be too intense for younger viewers. So viewer has been advised. Words are escaping right now, but welcome. So we do got a lot of news to run through. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. If you're like me and Joe, we want to hope for DC. Now, we're not talking about James Gunn and DC Studios. We are talking about comics right now, especially the fact of the matter that Joe brought this to my attention, that there's going to be a special release, a one-shot of Static teaming up with Anansi. For all those who don't know, Anansi was one of the characters from the Static Shock animated series. That's going to be coming out, which I think is going to be really cool. I was going to say, did they say when it was going to be? Oh, sorry. Tuesday, June 6th is when it's actually going to be released.
That lets me know my birthday's on a Wednesday this year.
Yeah. So, yes, Tuesday, June 6th is when this will be released. Again, it's a one-shot. I'm going to be looking forward to this because Static has always been, to me, one of those characters that DC / Milestone could really put out there that is immediately identified just because of the Static Shock animated series and the CW and Warner Brothers. And again, in comics, especially right now with Shadows of Dakota, which where me and Joe will get into later, it's definitely been very good. But Joe, any thoughts on this one shot between Anansi and Static?
Well, I definitely echo you. I still say Shadow's probably one of the most pivotal young characters DC has ever created.
Mm-hmm.
Is everything I could ask for in a new character. Having Anansi come pull a reverse Harley Quinn, is certainly something. I believe he teamed up twice.
Yeah, twice.
Static in the animated series. Yeah. It's been a good hot while. I mean, I remember the time he teamed up with Shaquille O'Neal and Little Bow Wow, but for whatever reason, the two times he teamed up with Anansi elude me. I remember one time was when he went to Africa, and another time is where Anansi came to him.
Yeah.
Me growing up in an army base, I'm actually very familiar with the story of Anansi the Spider. So I am really excited to see where this is going. And, Milestone has yet to do us wrong in the comics. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, especially with their icon versus hardware, but I'll have to discuss that another day because I'm really
that's definitely a you feel because that's book got super confusing to me real quick.
Yeah,
time travel is not something. Time travel told that way confuses the crap out of me.
It is a Doctor Who trip for sure. But again, this actually will be coming out June 6th. I will definitely be picking that up. Also, the Incredible Hulk will be getting another run this summer. Now, this actually picks off Philip Kennedy Johnson, and who's the other guy? Artist Nick Klein, because in this one, because Joe actually covered this as well, I think about, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago.
A bit ago, we've gone from Immortal to Starship. Now we're going back to Incredible.
Yeah. Which, for all those that don't remember, that the previous run this is coming off of was the fact that the Hulk was basically treated like a starship, where Banner was literally in control and had different aspects of his mind while basically being a part of the ship as Hulk. So in this case, this does reboot it back to the Incredible Hulk to where I'm not going to say it's going dark, but the way they sound like it is going back to those things that, I'm not going to say those dark times of the Incredible Hulk, but those are actually one of his best stories, in my opinion. But
are we talking about dark times as in Immortal Hulk? Are we talking about dark times as in walking around in bunny slippers, shorts, and a grenade launcher
No,
Oh,
no, Dark Times and Immortal Hulk.
oh, okay.
Dark Times and Immortal Hulk. But yes.
We also have two other news items I forgot to pull up, and that's because they literally just got announced. Is the Flash and Wonder Woman are both ending at 800 and rebooting later on in the year.
Okay.
So the Jeremy Adams run of the Flash will be ending at 800, and it'll be picking up with Cy Spurrier, who will be continuing the story with Wally West. Yay, yay. I'm tired of Barry. I love you, Jared, but I'm so tired of Barry. Not to mention, every time Wally's there, you get a very large ensemble Flash cast.
Yeah.
And Flash family, and that's the kind of Flash I grew up with. So I'm really looking forward to that. They did say that Cy Spurrier will be of X-Men writing. Cy Spurrier will be writing that book, and Wally will be taking on cosmic horror in his book.
Nice. Okay.
Also, Wonder Woman will be ending and beginning in 800. The current run of Wonder Woman will be ending in 800, and then Tom Taylor will be picking up Wonder Woman. Tom Taylor, who is writer of the now very, very popular Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow and Human Target, which Will and I both love.
Yeah.
He will be taking over Wonder Woman, and at the end of issue 800 will be a 10-issue lead-in to his series coming out also around September. So DC is starting to do some things. They've also announced that Hawkman will be getting his own comic soon, and at some point, Dr. Fate is getting his own book again.
Oh, because of the popularity behind both of them, and the only two bright lights out of Black Adam, but I can see that.
Yeah,
except for the helmet removal,
And in this interview where it was announced with Tom Taylor, they of course really poked fun of The Rock by saying, "Yes, the power dynamic of DC will be changing forever after this." They will not let that go. It is.
He's gonna have to ride.
He doomed himself on that.
He's gonna have to ride that out. But let's be honest, it's The Rock. He's gonna jump back into the movie, and it'll be all forgotten. But again, yeah, he's gonna have to hold that L for a long time. But speaking of things, that Joe also did bring up to me, Ghostbusters may have a sequel to Afterlife. This basically being entitled Ghostbusters: Hell's Kitchen. It definitely is being said that we've been informed that this sequel is going to pick up at the beginning, where Afterlife left off. For all those that don't remember, the scene in Afterlife where you see the Ecto-1 being driven back into the Manhattan firehouse, and the fact that you see Ernie Hudson's Winston saying that, we're going to fix you back up, leads to believe that we are going to be back in where it all started in New York, possibly with a new team. We may see cameos from the original Ghostbusters. But as of right now, we just have a title. But again, I'm not mad about Ghostbusters: Hell's Kitchen. But
no, I'm not.
No, go ahead, Joe.
No, I'm gonna probably enjoy this. This is the new working title. There was a bit of controversy lately around this movie because Ernie Hudson had actually not heard back about reprising his role as Winston, despite being very prominent towards the end of the movie, being the catalyst for the revival in New York and being the center focus in the game, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, which is canonically attached with Afterlife, having its own story around it. But now, as of recently, Ernie Hudson did say, yes, he will be a part of this new working title. They are currently filming in England in about 2 weeks. Mostly because England will double as New York City. I don't see how. I have flown through England. I mean, unless this is a ridiculously huge soundstage. And what I mean by flowing through England is I played the Watchdog Legions game, which gives a full 1-to-1 scale of England, of London.
Yep.
I have flown through it on many a drone, and I don't see how that's going to be a double of New York.
It's probably gonna be a lot of. It's got to be a soundstage.
It's got to be a huge soundstage.
Yeah, it has to be. But speaking of things that aside from Ghostbusters, which again we don't have a release date on when Hell's Kitchen's coming out.
We will also make one joke. I do want to see Charlie Cox with a proton pack now.
You can always say he's a descendant of Venkman. This Venkman's recruited. I've been recruited by a guy named Venkman. It's like we can see it. It's like we can. It's like, are you related to? Yes, I'm related to him.
I'm the other son.
I can see that. I'm the other. I can see that I'm the other son. I can honestly now. I want to watch Ghostbusters now. Anyway, move right along, guys. Creed, which again, Creed 3 being in theaters. Because of the success, because Creed 3 has done very well in the box office, that Amazon may be getting an anime. Creed may be turning to an anime. Now, you've heard me and Joe say about this anime, and another friend of ours, Hellspawn Cosplay, has just now started watching Jaime no Ippo.
I cannot believe he just now found this anime.
Mm-hmm.
Him of all people, just finding about this anime strikes me funny.
But at the same time, look how quickly he's hooked.
Oh,
look how quickly he's hooked into it. But anyway, it looks like Creed may actually get turned into an anime. For all those that know about Creed, yes, it is about a boxer, the son of a famous boxer, which again started out did trade with Rocky Sylvester Stallone's character, although Stallone isn't in Creed 3. You already know that off the bat that Stallone and the current holder of the rights to Rocky are not seeing eye to eye, so there's a chance that we may or may not see him in Creed 4 if it does actually happen. But at least in this point, I'm going to be interested to see what they do with this, especially the fact of it being an anime, a boxing anime at that. But if it is along the lines of Jaime no Ippo, then I'm all for it. Also, if you don't know what Jaime no Ippo is, go to Crunchyroll, look it up, watch the first season.
You'll learn what a Dempsey roll is.
Huh?
You'll learn what a Dempsey roll is.
Oh, yeah, you'll learn what a Dempsey roll is, a gazelle punch, frog punch.
So, did you get a chance to see Creed 3?
Not yet.
I have.
Oh, well, you go give your impressions of it. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, I love this thing. I will say the final fight went a little too anime at one point.
Are we talking Dragon Ball, Vegeta and Goku anime fighting?
No, they made that weird comparison, and I did not see it. But me and my buddy Jared, we went to go see it, and I was very wrong about this. Like, you guys remember, I was saying like this is definitely like a remake of Rocky 3.
Yeah,
the whole time. So it's really a remake of Rocky 5, but good.
Okay, so the question I'm going to ask you later, just to answer my question then. Dang, I had a theory about that.
Damien is basically what if Tommy Gunn was done correctly.
Gotcha.
No, really enjoyed it. Really, really good. Like I said, the boxing fights were fantastic. They were hard hitting. We get some returning characters. We do not, I will tell you, and this is not a spoiler because it's been said, Rocky does not make an appearance in this film. They did a fine job writing him out in the last film. Remember, for those of you who are not aware, Rocky retired and moved in with his son back in Canada so that he can live out the rest of his life with his family and grandkids.
Right.
This is entirely focusing on Adonis and his family and his relationship with his family, and also Damien once he returns. Now, me and Jared were just laughing our asses off because we got every single anime reference in this thing. We were also playing Spot the Gundam.
Because Michael B. Jordan is a Gundam fan.
Huh? Oh, no, Michael B. Jordan is such a huge Gundam fan.
Yeah, he is a Gundam fan, so there's going to be one or two at least.
I think we found 5.
Sounds about right.
But then the final fight happened, and the final fight is fantastic. It has a very iconic shot that is used in multiple boxing animes, be it the originator Rashida no Joe, Hajime no Ippo, or Megalobox. It is one of the definitive boxing shots you'll always get.
Oh, nice. I was wondering if they took some hints from Megalobox.
But it does get a little too anime at one point, and I mean like really anime at one point. I'll explain to Will with very little context. That way it doesn't spoil it for him after the show, but we go full anime in this.
I'm interested in that. I'm kind of interested now. They said if they had an anime fight, I was wondering how they did it. But cool. But Creed 3 is out in theaters. If you want to see, definitely want to go see it. Like I said, Amazon wanting to do an anime on Creed. I'm going to be very curious how they go about that. Also at Amazon, just because we're sticking with them, Amazon has picked up another. They decided to take up Batman Caped Crusader. Which they got a 2-season order from Amazon. Initially, this was going to be on HBO Max, but it looks like Amazon sat there and said, "Oh, for more money, we'll take it," which I'm not against. I believe this is going to be directed. This is a J.J. Abrams production, and because it's already got 2 seasons ordered, there is a lot of faith behind this. Which, again, if it's done correctly, I can see it being great. But I don't got no issues with that. I mean, again, Batman's never really had a bad animated series. I mean, the original one is probably the GOAT. That's the one that's going to stand the test of time. The Brave and the Bold, the Batman, those are all great. And of course, we're going to get another Brave and the Bold that's going to be coming out. That's really going to be focusing on Damian and going from there. But I see no problem with this. But what do you think, Joe?
Well, I know WB is going to kick themselves in the ass for letting this go because Batman always makes money.
Yeah.
And it is the CEO was the one that went on that big cutting animation spree. Mm-hmm. This is a new Bruce Timm, J.J. Abrams or James Gunn. I forget which one it is, but probably J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams, Gunverse.
Yeah.
Because remember, everything in the Gunverse, be it animated, game, or comic, is now connected.
Yep.
So this is the James Gunn, J.J. Abrams, and I think the director of The Batman has also some influence in this.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, Amazon's about to be pulling money hand over fist because this is a Bruce Timm Batman project. People clamor for this more than the Snyderverse guys clamor for Snyderverse stuff.
And they still hear that flag.
All of us want this. And I think there's been only one frowned upon Batman animated series. It was that one that was completely CG and had Professor Pig as the main bad guy most of the time.
Wasn't that I can't remember which Batman that was. I was about to say Brave and the Bold, but Professor Pig wasn't the Brave and the Bold.
No. It was trying to be dark and edgy.
I gotta go back. I don't have the answer on hand. I'm gonna have to definitely go back and find
Batman.
Because there's only 4. Well, 5. I'll that's okay. We'll come back to that. But speaking of things that we wish we could avoid, we unfortunately have to talk about this. The Flash, people. How do I start this? First and foremost, I think the showrunner really does either hates the show or just wants to see how much they can get away with. But the reason why I say this is because I am seeing the number of Michael Keaton as Batman quotes seem to be increasing.
Oh, okay. So you counted 2. How many did you get?
I got 2. What did you get?
I got 4.
Okay, what were the other 2? Because I caught 2 of them at the beginning.
I mean, aside from that, the finale wasn't, or not the finale, but the finale of the Red Death arc was not that bad. Unfortunately, they left it pretty wrapped up. So I don't know what these last 4 episodes are going to be about unless Cobalt Blue just comes in and immediately wrecks everything.
See, that's the reason why this is the reason why I kept saying this abbreviated last season. I can see why they're doing it. Yes, and also I forgot spoilers, but I mean, come on, it's been 2 days. If you haven't watched it by now, if you're still interested in watching it, because we watch it just because we got a report on it. But still, the fact that they wrapped up the Red Death, and it was don't get me wrong, I love seeing Jaleesa as Batwoman again. but it was just, it felt like a hodgepodge. Like,
Oh yeah, like they wrapped up what would be a whole 26 episode season in uh
you did it in 5 you really did it in about
really 4
6 episodes.
episodes, because 5 episodes. The first episode was just really them doing Groundhog's Day, and not really. We got
Yeah,
introduced to new Captain Boomerang, but that really didn't have anything to do with Red Death.
true. But,
Uh,
but that's the thing
yeah,
about it. But that's the thing about it, though. I mean, they wrapped it up to where Red Death is caught. Red Death is caught. But I mean, the whole premise, the duality of it all, and it's just like you really didn't go into a lot of explanation, but you just kind of wrapped it all up and sat there and said, well, we're going to leave it at this, but you still have 4 episodes to go.
so I guess that means one episode we know we know one episode is going to be devoted to Barry saving the legends.
Yeah.
Like that's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
I guess that means Cobalt Blue's gonna come in, or Eddie Thawne, they're getting him back from season 1. He's gonna come back and wreck house, and Barry's gonna have to get everybody to deal with him. But they're gotta do it in 4 episodes.
It's just gonna be a run. I feel like it's gonna be a rush job. And I think it's
irony considering this is the Flash, but
I mean, if you were going to do a 9-episode series, I'm like, you have the 1-minute war. I mean, that's going to wrap. I mean, it's a 5-part. I mean, comic-wise, it's a 5-part series, but you could have told that in 9 episodes. You really could have. But it's like for a show that really had a lot of great writing, and it's just like it started off great. It just feels like at the end, it needs something. I kind of feel like they're gonna just, shovel Reverse Flash somewhere in there. That's to me. I think
no. Remember, Eddie Thawne he's
still alive.
It's a Thawne.
Yeah.
Cobalt Blue is a Thawne, but he's also Barry's super secret twin brother.
Yeah, so it's gonna be different. But again, 4 more episodes to go, people. 4 more episodes to go to the end of the Arrowverse. Moving right along to some better shows. The Mandalorian. First and foremost, I am really, really liking this new season. Number one, we knew it from last season that because of him removing his helmet, he is basically an apostate. He's not considered a Mandalorian anymore. So he was told by the Forge Master. Thank you. He was told by that person that in order for you to be redeemed, that you have to go back to the living waters and bathe in them, and you'll be a Mandalorian again. So this is really a recap of the first and second episodes. First and foremost, love them both. Love the fact that Grogu is starting to act like a teenage Groot. I'm not gonna lie, he's starting to act like a teenage Groot. But you do see, of course, the revisit back to the planet. Carl Weathers is now I guess he moved from the mayor. I guess he's now the governor. I guess in a sense.
Grand Magistrate.
Grand Magistrate. That was that's what I want to say. The Grand Magistrate running joke was really good. Even up until the point to where he went to Bo-Katan, who looks rejected. Because we catch up on her story where because she wasn't able to get the black saber, that her entire army has basically dispersed, become mercenaries, and she's just hanging out to be hanging out. And she actually helps the Mandalorian not only find living waters, but also rescue him. But she notices something in the water that's a little bit familiar. But
there were some weird choices in these first 2 episodes. The first big one is the whole Babu Frink stuff. Yeah. It's not that it was bad, it's that the Mandalorian cannot understand these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
The magistrate keeps translating, but yet at the same time he keeps going, no, I get it. Yeah. It's like, but you just said you don't understand them. And of course, then we get, Grogu trying to hug on everything.
That was funny.
He called a bad baby. And I just like how the whole universe, and I think even Mandalorian's like, well, this is clearly your son now.
Yeah.
Or even like Katie Sackhoff's character. It's like, where's your dad?
That part was funny.
And
That
then when
part
she
was
comes up, it's like, well, how did you find me? Your kid? And it's like, well, he's not. You're expecting like he's not my child. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Plus, it's also super weird and inconsistent with the Darksaber now because Mandolorian wields that thing like a club and makes it look like it weighs 80 pounds in his hand.
Mhm.
But Katie Sackhoff has no problem wielding that thing whatsoever.
But ain't that the wild part? She sat there and made that look graceful.
Yeah, and it's like the thing. I think the Smithy says like, well, only a Jedi can wield that. Anybody who can't use it, it's a super thing. It's like,
And
okay,
yet,
so we're breaking the rules of the show already. What are we doing here with?
well, I think that I was gonna say on the fact that maybe she was just more trained than he was, because I mean, his main weapon has always been the spear, gauntlets, and his gun. He's never really used he's never really used a saber-like weapon.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is, even when he lifts it,
Yeah, it looks heavy.
He lifts it like it's like 100-pound weight.
Yeah. But yet
like it's physically heavy to him. But with her, she's like, no, I can like sit there, do the bishop knife thing with my fingers with this thing.
But that just makes me think. But that's what I was thinking of. Like, I thought it was going to lead to the fact of that she was going to challenge him again for the saber, since it can only.
I think it is just her being like she's a force sensitive Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I mean, but also this is one of those BS moments where like, oh, only a Jedi can use a lightsaber. Han use that thing, and Empire Strikes Back split open to Tauntaun. Your argument's invalid. Let's move forward. But my problem, the only issue I have with this is that the show established the rules, and it's not adhering to it.
I think that'll be correct the next. Episode. But then again, they have to explain why that beast is still alive.
The Mythosaur?
Yeah. Because I mean,
okay, so I have learned watching all these series, the reason why that thing is alive is because this show loves its giant monsters. At this point, I'm waiting for Gamera or Anguillus or Godzilla to pop up at this rate because this thing has done nothing but toss giant lizards at us.
I mean, who doesn't love a good Rancor? Who doesn't love a Rancor?
I mean, this is true. The bad thing is now because of Bad Batch, I feel bad that Luke Skywalker killed that Rancor. Because Bad Batch gave that Rancor a name, and we got to see it as a baby. And then we got to watch Luke Skywalker murder it.
Yeah. Disney goes dark. But overall, the Mandalorian is still, I think, one of the better shows that are coming out. Also, Bad Batch. I forgot to mention that as well.
Oh, yeah. No, this new season of Bad Batch is... really, this new episode of Bad Batch. Yeah. Let's talk about racism. How do you handle racists? You shoot them in the back.
I mean, he ain't wrong.
Crosshair. Meanwhile, Crosshairs. Oh, I stayed with the Empire for this. I'm gonna shoot this dude.
That was still funny. But no. But again, Mandalorian and Bad Batch also were great. We're going to switch gears for a second because, like I said, we still have other news, including Daredevil's casting or lack thereof.
Yeah.
But the Mario Brothers has decided to give us a final trailer.
Where am I?
Ooh, fresh meat for the grinder.
Pay him no heed. He is cute, but he is.
There's gotta be a way out of here.
There's no escape. The only hope is the sweet relief of death.
Whoa! Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
My army, Koopas! Goombas! Whatever those things are!
Oh.
We will destroy the Mushroom Kingdom!
Bowser is coming.
I'm not afraid. I'll do anything for my brother.
We're going to save him.
Yes!
You asked for it. This is fun.
Here we go!
Attack!
Let's end this.
Oh man. Okay. You know what? I had some reserves about the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I think it'll be okay now. I honestly think it'll be okay because anybody who's ever played Mario, number one, anybody who's ever played Mario Kart, there's a handful, 5 games that will test relationships, friendships, and marriages. Mario Kart is one of them. The fact that you see a blue homing shell, if it doesn't bring back feelings of fill in the blank,
That gives trust issues.
yeah. If it doesn't bring that back to you, I don't know what to tell you. But I'll be honest, I was one of those when I first saw the first trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I'm like, I don't really know. But this final trailer before it comes out April 5th, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. I think it'll be all right. What do you think, Joe?
I think the funnier part is that he actually used an old Rainbow Road trick.
Yeah,
Hop off and go to a lower part of the track.
that was still funny. If you time,
Also, Fire Donkey Kong is terrifying and unfair.
I love the fact that he's like, I've always wanted to try this. He said, "Get the fire flower."
Also, we need to get Rosalina on the phone and talk to her about this one child. Is this the one that Rosalina did not hug enough?
Probably not. Probably not. But no, of course, the Super Mario Bros. Movie does come out April 5th. I think it's, my faith has been a little bit validated. I'm like, this actually might be good. Because Nintendo is banking a lot. Oh, and also Super Mario World, for all you lucky people that get to see it, because I see your YouTube, so I'm not hating, I'm just jealous. Looks like an awesome place. I guess I have to mark that down on my list of places to go once I decide to take a vacation. But anyway, move right along to video game news. This one is this part of news, again, I'm not surprised about, only because, well, their response to the state of play wasn't very good. I am honestly, guys, talking about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Has been reportedly delayed again. Now, for all those that don't remember, Sony did have a recent state of play which did show off a lot more of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. However, not only was every character using guns, it had a live service attached to it. And the backlash has been a lot, to say the least. To the point to now they're saying that they're going to overhaul some things in the game because it did start off as a game as a service, which again, I've said before, games that have live service that are not games like Destiny or like Call of Duty, they do not do well. They have terrible frame rates. The paywalls behind the paywalls they have up for you to get content is downright ridiculous. So I think they want to avoid this with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. But again, I also sit there and say that I have nothing against games that are pushed back just because if they need a little bit more polish, they need a little bit more time, go for it, because we've seen what happened with games that get rushed like Cyberpunk 2077. Everybody remembers when that came out, that horrible thing it was doing and also crashing PS4s. So I'm not against it. I'm just saying that hopefully they will take away the live service. Microtransactions are a thing now. Skins, like I said, if you played PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, you've played Fortnite, you've played Apex, you play these sandbox games that are free to play, but you are paying for the skins. Companies have figured out it's lucrative. I can't knock them for that. But Joe, what do you think about the game being delayed? Does it change your opinion on it? Do you think they're going to get rid of live service or just increase it or double down?
I mean, they're too far gone, and Jason Schreier is probably one of the more trustworthy game journalists.
Mm-hmm.
I've read several of his books. I listened to his podcast, Triple Click. He seems like a pretty straightforward dude. keeps his nose clean on this kind of stuff, knows what he's talking about, goes through and does good journalistic work. So, I don't know if this is, depending on what's going to tell if this is polish or overhaul, is how long the delay is.
Yeah.
Was I going to get this game? God, no. I am not what is probably coined by another podcast I listen to, Video Game Apocalypse. I'm not a sleuter. Not a sleuter kind of guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do Avengers for the story mode and the Wakanda DLC and stuff like that, but I'm not going to sit there and, make sure Captain Boomerang has his level 5 purple boomerang, which does 26 damage, but has 56 heat damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then also equip a machine gun that hits for 50 damage, but irradiates an opponent for 2 damage every bullet. I'm not doing that.
Well, what
Especially
makes
when the majority of the game seems to be shoot the purple spots.
Well, that's the thing that bothered me when they showed the state of play. I was hoping that the only person I was thinking that was going to be using guns would be obviously Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and that's it. I would think they would kind of stick to the strengths of the characters, Captain Boomerang with his boomerangs, King Shark with his strength ability, and stuff like that. But the fact that now everybody's got guns, everybody has some sort of aerial attack, and as like you pointed out, it just seems more colorful. And I want to give Rocksteady more credit because they've given us really quality games. Especially in the Batman Arkham series, they gave us pretty good games. That's the reason why
this is a part of. This is considered part of the Arkham franchise.
Which is the reason why I don't want to dismiss it. I still do want to play it. I think the story is going to be great behind it. It's one of the very last pieces that the late Kevin Conroy was a part of. So I want to give it a shot. That being said, I may not purchase it when it comes out immediately. I may wait for some few patches to go through first. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing about being delayed, I get it to a certain extent, but the negative feedback that came back from that game being released makes me think that they're going to go back and change some things. Now, like you said, it's highly unlikely they're going to remove the paywall. It's highly unlikely the live service is not going to be removed. But I'm going to be honest, that story better be freaking on point for me to stay interested.
Someone's already leaked the story, and apparently we're not killing the entire Justice League, only some of them. So,
this is I'm gonna still give it just due. Still give it just
due.
Anyway. But yeah, it's just that me and Joe have talked about this several times. There's nothing wrong with a game being delayed. There is nothing wrong with it because we've seen what happens when games get rushed. We've seen what happens. It's never good. It turns out bad. And at the same time, like one of the games I love, before we move on to this next subject, Anthem. I hate when games are called Destiny killers. And I love Destiny. I can't wait to play the Lightfall expansion. I can't wait to play that when I get a chance. But Anthem, when it first came out, was being compared to Destiny because it was basically Iron Man, you're in Iron Man suits. The problem is Electronic Arts, which was behind it, pushed it too far, pushed it when it wasn't ready, plenty of bugs, plenty of crashes, didn't really equal up to its pay scale to the point to where EA eventually abandoned it. I don't want the same thing to happen for Rocksteady on the Suicide Squad game. I do want them to take their time. But yeah, it's just there's some aspects of the game I'm already not liking, but I still want to give it a fair shot. But I digress. But anyway, that being said, guys, we are going to go back to the movie side of things because as Armor Wars is coming up, we have seen a rumor. The rumor basically is Eltron, who was voiced by James Spader in Avengers Age of Ultron, may be returning as Eltron in Armor Wars. Keep in mind, this is a rumor. Nothing has been confirmed. But there are those that are in the interwebs, in the holes of Reddit that have heard snippets that it's possible that he could be back in the MCU in Armor Wars. Now, of course, this was the only time, Eltron, as far as the character, not James Spader voicing him, was in the What If series, which was voiced by Ross Marquand. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I love James Spader as Ultron and Age of Ultron. I thought he did the role justice. Joe, I'm gonna ask you because Armor Wars is basically gonna focus on Stark Tech being out and about in the world. Is it possible, considering the fact that Ultron did make many copies of himself? Are they going to go with that story as far as him being around and just laying low? Or do you think it's going to go differently?
Wasn't Ultron also the main villain in that Avengers Cruise movie we watched?
Yeah.
Okay. As for how he comes back, Lord only knows. It's Ultron. He can come back a number of different ways. At this point, I'm surprised Hank Pym just doesn't rip half his face off and Hank Henshaw it as Ultron. Or rather, it should be Tony Stark, but in this universe. But still, I mean, I'm down for it. Ultron's always a blast in the comics. I mean, when he's not overly goofy, like what I just said with Pimtron.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's always a valid threat to the Avengers. He's always a valid threat to the world. In this particular version of Ultron, this is Tony's hubris as a walking, talking death machine.
Yeah.
Is it hubris or is PTSD? I think PTSD would be the better disclaimer.
Well,
better word.
I mean, it is essentially Tony in robotic form. So
It's Tony's PTSD in robotic form.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down for it. Armor Wars, I don't know how much of that has changed now that Bob Iger's back in control.
Yeah.
Because we do know that Agatha Harkness, despite already filming, has been put on indefinite hiatus at the moment because Bob Iger is pulling back on certain things because he wants quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they're going to be retooling because I don't know if they're going to be pulling back on the Riri Williams aspect on this movie or not because honestly, as much as we said it, I still think she was a little bit forced in Wakanda Forever.
Slightly, but I see your point.
Yeah. And nothing bad about the actress or the portrayal. It's just one of those things of what are we going to be doing now that Iger's back in control and giving the marching orders? Because we do know that he's not a fan of the one shot.
Yeah.
He's more of he wants everything tight and cohesive, like it was when he ran before he let Chapek ran it, because Chapek just like everything, put out everything, everything's greenlit, everything go.
Yeah.
And then you got out with some of this random stuff, which, you know, for the majority of the part, and I'm speaking for Will on this one, and he's welcome to disagree with me. We liked almost everything out of Phase 4.
Yeah.
I mean, Eternals is hit or miss depending on who you are.
Yeah.
It's probably the only, and then Thor: Love and Thunder was what it was, but that's what happens when you go too much comedy.
You went Ragnarok twice.
You went like way too far to the left.
That was that whole thing, and Ragnarok was good and funny, and then you decided that let's keep going with that angle. No,
I was gonna say let's keep going with all the Walker Texas Ranger jokes.
Yeah, it just wasn't gonna.
But I mean, now that Iger's back, we're tightening things up, and you know, things that don't make sense aren't gonna go. Like we know that Contest of Chaos was supposed to be now for Marvel a big Agatha Harkness thing because Agatha Harkness was supposed to come out when Contest of Chaos came out.
Yeah.
Now that's not happening. So Armor Wars is
a question mark.
I don't want to say threatened. I just don't know what it's gonna be now.
Oh, we can say threatened.
Huh?
We can say threatened because because again, like you said, Bob Iger being back, it does change things. So yeah, we can say threatened.
Well, I mean, not threatened as in cancellation or indefinite hiatus. I think the better term is, where does Armor Wars fit in this phase? Because now we're not looking so much at Ultron as in the grand scheme of Kang. Where does Rhodey fit in? Where does Ironheart fit in?
Right. Which again, you would think they would push that forward just because they're going with the Kane story in the multiverse saga. But
so I mean, like the only two aspects I can see this in is, I mean, even with the Ultron, is
Uh-huh.
Kang gets an Ultron somehow, some way, because time travel. And just Kang's recruiting forces, and it's really easy to kill a robot and repair a robot.
At the same time, we don't know how many copies of Ultron were out there, and he could have just stumbled upon one.
He could just be sitting in some little PC cash register in the back of a Taco Bell, waiting to hit the internet. Silver Centurion could become part of Armor Wars because that's the most techno of the Kangs.
Yeah.
Or that could be the introduction to Iron Lad, or a younger Kang.
Yeah.
Comes in and starts in the background. Hey, there's a dude. There's a kid Riri knows. His name is Nate. And he's really interested in this armor.
I would love the fact he came back and said, "What are you, kid?" And he says, "I'm a mechanic." Yeah. Just to highlight going back to Iron Man, Iron Man 3. It's like, I'm a mechanic. And it's like, you're that kid. And it goes back to Iron Lad. But I see what you're saying though. But it's one of those things to where I'm not saying things can change, but Ultron would be a welcome sight, just because again, Ultron doesn't necessarily die. He would be back in Armor Wars again. Rumor, nothing's confirmed. I just think that would be pretty cool to see him. And of course, James Spader, he's the only reason. Not only do I watch The Blacklist because of that man, but several other movies, television shows that man has been in. He really is iconic. But moving right along, some other news that Joe surprised me with that I'm pleasantly surprised. Number one, about this actress and how she is very, very, very defensive of her character. Not only that, but there is a chance for all you Beetlejuice fans that it could be a sequel to Beetlejuice happening. And Jenna Ortega, apologies, the woman who does play Wednesday in the Netflix Wednesday show, will be a part of Beetlejuice 2, along with hopefully Michael Keaton returning. This is great news. Beetlejuice, if you've never seen Beetlejuice, I'm pretty sure it's streaming somewhere, or you can purchase it somewhere. If you've never seen the first one, I highly recommend it. It's probably one of Tim Burton's best films. Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice as a delight. Gina Davis is interesting. I forgot the girl who plays Lydia. Winona Ryder. There we go. Sorry. Winona Ryder plays Lydia. But again, if you haven't seen the original Beetlejuice, definitely should do that. I think, I don't know where the sequel's going to go. I don't know where the sequel's going to go at this point. I mean, it could focus on Lydia having a daughter. It could go completely left or completely right. But it's Beetlejuice, and Michael Keaton with Tim Burton being back. If Michael Keaton does return, because I think without Michael Keaton it doesn't work. I don't think you can put anybody else in the role of Beetlejuice but Michael Keaton, because I mean he played that role so well. You just don't want to see someone else do it. But Joe, what do you think of this? If we do get a sequel to Beetlejuice?
The only thing that strikes me as odd is Jenna Ortega really leaning into goth girl roles all of a sudden, because Scream 6 is currently playing in her theater right now.
Yeah,
there's the main thing, and her Wednesday thing, and now she's going for this. That was the only thing that kind of struck me as like, wow, she's really pigeonholing herself and to being the new Christina Ricci. But okay, I'm down.
But I'm not against it though. I mean,
I'm not against it. It's just like one of those weird things where you see somebody like really lean into that, and it's one of those.
But if you think about it, she could be one of those method actors. Method actors really get into stuff. So, but also, but I do love her because she really does protect the character. Like, I didn't know that there were lines in Wednesday that she said, no, that's not going to work, and decides to rewrite them. And the producer's like, all right, go for it. But what are you going to say, Joe?
I mean, the only other person I think that could do Beetlejuice, maybe Sacha Baron Cohen. Depending on the Beetlejuice, the other thing I want to know is, this was one of those movies that, for you and me as a little kid, was spooky but not scary, spooky, despite the fact that it had like a fair amount of body horror.
Yeah.
But these days, I don't think this is going to get the same rating it used to. If they're expecting to maintain that same amount of body horror in it, not to say that this is going to be rated R or anything, but definitely this is going to be a PG-13 for.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be more
and stuff. I mean, but Beetlejuice also had a cartoon that lasted almost a decade. So
there you go. No, I think if they decide to go with it, because they've really been talking about making a sequel since 1998. I hope it does happen. And again, I am not against where they're going with it, but I'll be curious to know the story. But it's kind of funny that Joe does bring up speaking on things as kids, because the next trailer that we do have is about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it's a movie that is being produced by Seth Rogen, and this is the trailer for it. It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Almost sounds like a video game, really.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can.
Stay still. Stay still. No. Oh!
Let's try that again, but with ninja stars.
Hey, why did we pick a fruit shaped exactly like my head?
Just stop talking. You're ruining my concentration.
You're fine. Chill. He's gonna die.
What, did you hear that? What was that? Well, nothing we can do. You guys want to grab pizza?
Can I kick it? Can I kick it? Can I kick it? Can I kick it?
What the heck are those things? They look like little Shreks to me.
Can I kick it? Can I kick it?
We've prepared our whole lives for this.
Can I kick it?
Oh my, I'm gonna be sick.
Leo, what happened? Is Donnie bleeding?
It was an accident. Mikey, watch out!
So you were baby turtles who made contact with mystery goo.
Well, we prefer the term ooze, but yeah.
It's like more like, it's just nicer.
It rolls off the tongue better, yeah.
Ooze. It's nice, right? It's ooze.
Okay, so as you can see, guys, that was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It will be out August of this year, so we'll be expecting a date later on. I'm not gonna lie, I'm digging it. I know for a lot of people, like I said, if you're in the era of me and Joe, the drawing's a little different. I get that. But I do love the fact that, number one, I love the essence of it. I love the fact that it's exactly how we picture turtles to be. The voices are really voiced by younger actors. And the simple fact of the matter is they were able to keep a lot of the elements that we know and love. Plus, Splinter has an afro. I am already intrigued by this. And also, for a lot of people that are wondering, yes, that is the April O'Neil. And I know a lot of people are going, but April O'Neil was a white, pasty redhead.
Oh, for crying out loud.
You want to field goal that one, Joe?
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about the comic book, people. First off, April O'Neil in the comic book was a mixed person until we found out she wasn't even a real person. April O'Neil in the last series, Rise of TMNT, teenage black girl. No one cares about her race. Let kids be kids on this. Like, we need the kids to have someone they can identify with. No one's identifying with a redheaded woman wearing a yellow jumpsuit, unless you're someone who's 15 or older. Like, April O'Neil did things to many children. There's a reason why I prefer redheads. It's not my fault. It's April O'Neil's. Also, Mike needs to watch his hands in that first episode. I got it. You freeze frame it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't understand what it is with this. Like, people can be different colors in different films. Like, we've established the turtle multiverse.
There's
This
always
is April, not the April. April was a half black, half white, until we learned that she was a comic book drawing brought to life by a man and a magic pencil, literally.
Because folks, because there's always going to be those people like, well, well, they should be. I said, if you really go back to a lot of these character creators, you'd find out some stuff that there is a reason that their original idea didn't go through, because somebody who had more money and more influence said, no, we can't have this happen. Don't believe me? There's plenty of stories out there. And if we're going to go original, let's go original Ninja Turtles. The dark type. The ones where they weren't happy-go-lucky teenagers. They were basically killing machines. But, you guys want to jump on the whole, well, it's just that April O'Neil why is she black? Doesn't matter. Because here's again, and I have to give Carl Jones credit for this because he said it first. Because he's actually along with him and others. They said if you keep telling the same story over and over again, if you keep doing that, the story's gonna get stale. So you have to find different ways of telling the story. If it means that new adaptations, new characters, if you tell the story different, it's going to be fresh. Wrestling fans know this because we've seen multiple storylines by multiple wrestlers, and it doesn't get old because they change one or two elements. The story still gets told, but it's still the same element. I mean, look at Peter Pan and Wendy. I have never seen so many people mad about Tinkerbell being black. Tinkerbell, a mythical fairy being black. And there are YouTubes, documentaries, dang near papers being posted out there of basically why Tinkerbell should be white. I cannot make this up. What are you going to say, Joe?
Here. Picture there to share.
Oh, I got you.
This was the original April O'Neil, guys. Can't do anything about the size of it, sorry, but
But yeah, that's the original. She was basically a mixed woman. You're exactly right. But it's
No,
that's good enough. That works. But what's so crazy about it is the fact of the matter is that you have individuals that will find somehow, some way arguments. Like it was Little Mermaid. There was someone using science to explain why mermaids are pale. Mermaids are mythical. They're not. No one has ever seen a mermaid.
What are you talking about? You go to Wakula Springs, you can see manatees all over the place.
Petty, that's petty. But going back to it, Mutant Mayhem looks like it's going to be great.
Yeah,
I got no issues with it.
Mayhem looks to be good. We definitely got confirmation there are going to be two different teams in this movie.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Mighty Mutanimals and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles against the Utroms.
Yeah.
I do like that the kids sound like kids. I will become very honest. On the initial watch of this trailer, I did not like the Donatello voice because he sounds super young compared to everybody else, despite the fact that Mikey is the youngest because he has braces. Sure.
I guess
but the more again, and I even told people in my comments when I said this, they were telling me, well, it's a young actress. Like, yeah. And the more I watch it, the more it'll grow on me.
Yeah.
It's like on this initial watching, though, I do not like the fact that he sounds like he's 10. But you know what? This is happening now. I guarantee you this was happening 5 years ago. It would just be the four boys from Stranger Things voicing these characters. These kids are semi-new actors. They have some credits, but they are not like Paul Rudd being Mondo Gecko. Who he is being Mondo Gecko. We have confirmation that John Cena is Rocksteady. Seth Rogen's going to be Bebop, which is slightly confusing because I feel a black guy should be Bebop, but in the cartoon, he was a white dude.
He was a white dude. He was a white dude in the cartoon.
Was he a white dude in the comic?
Yeah.
Okay, I keep forgetting what 80s.
Because Bebop, in the comic, Bebop was the white dude. Rocksteady was a black dude before they got that.
I thought they were in the cartoon. They were both white dudes, right?
The first run, yes. Because when they went back into the second one, Rocksteady was black.
No, Bebop's always been the black dude.
I'm gonna go with your word on that one. Because I either Bebop. Well, wait, hang on. No, sorry. Nope, you're right.
You got to switch, didn't you?
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
And then like we got Mighty Mutantables. I know for a fact that Leatherhead's going to be female this time around. I believe is the voice actress for it. There has not been females voicing alligators for a very long time. If you want to know that reason, please go see All Dogs Go to Heaven. I will go there.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's not my fault. They did that to themselves.
I knew you were going to. I knew he was going to say that.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see what they do with the Mighty Mutantables. My only regret is I don't think they casted a Slash, and Slash is pretty pivotal to the Mighty Mutantables.
Unless he hasn't been announced.
I think they dumped everything out because we even know that like somebody's called Cynthia Utrom.
Yeah.
This
is the first trailer though, so we don't really have a lot.
Yeah, the only thing that strikes me super weird is we don't have a Shredder.
Yeah.
And that Splinter is voiced by Jackie Chan.
Yes.
The weird thing is to me on that one is why is Jackie Chan, a 60-year-old Chinese man, playing a early 30s Japanese rap man with an afro?
I'm just.
I mean, congrats! They got an Asian to play an Asian, but they got the wrong Asian to play the wrong Asian.
Well, real quick before we go to the next one, who would you spot cast in that role? Just curious.
Either Hiroyuki Tagawa, because he's in everything these days.
True.
Or Ken Watanabe.
Fair point. I can see Gary though, because I can see that he kind of got that. He's always got that cadence to him.
He's also got that sass, which I want Splinter to have like that mild amount of sass.
Yeah.
Because we know in this trailer, and I guarantee you that's what it is, when they're showing off their weapons, they are stealing those weapons and going out to do stupid things. It's one of those are the training weapons that Splinter says only use these for training. And they are teens. They are 13, 14, and 15, I guarantee. Probably not even that. I guarantee you they are Mikey's probably 12, Donnie's 13, and Leo Raffer 14 at the most.
Oh, this is before they were polished. This is definitely going to be that.
This is not where 18, 19, and 20. This is, we just had the birthday.
Yeah.
It's 18 with some of these turtles. So these are goofy kids going out and doing goofy stuff.
Yep. But still, August 2023 is going to be definitely interesting when that comes out. This news, again, is not surprising, but it had a good run. I'm talking about Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery, guys, will end with season 5. As you can see there, it was announced a little bit earlier today that in 2024, we will get the final run. If you have not seen Star Trek Discovery on Paramount Plus, I highly recommend that you should. It is definitely a great series. Also, Brave New World. If you haven't seen that, definitely watch that. If you're currently watching Picard Season 3, please do not tell me. I'm hearing great things about it because I'm still trying to catch up.
It's so good.
I'm trying to catch up on Season 2. I understand Picard Season 3 is great right now, but just don't tell me, please.
Also, go watch Lower Decks. It's literally the best of all the Star Treks.
Also Lower Decks, and of course, Star Trek Prodigy on Nickelodeon. But yes, Star Trek Discovery, unfortunately, will end with season 5. I still think it was a great series to get to 5. Nothing wrong with the cast. The storylines have been great. I wish that she got her Q. Almost every Star Trek captain had a Q moment. And she was probably the one. Well, let me not say that, because Q could probably appear for her in season 5.
Well, AQ. I don't think John Delancey's going to waste his time. We know John Delancey has a problem with certain cast members in Star Trek.
Yeah, I would like to see AQ pop up, not DQ, because let's be honest. I think Cisco shut him up for all of us. I think Cisco shut him up. Picard never touched me. I'm not Picard. That still sticks with me to this day. But yes, still great series. You can still catch on Paramount Plus. Deadpool's 2, Jack Reese will play Hellboy in the Crooked Man reboot. Joe, I wanted your opinion on this because yes, they are going with another Hellboy. They are going with another Hellboy comic movie. They are taking the Crooked Man, which again, a great story. If you don't know it, please go back and read it. I think to me, if we're doing top 10, that's probably one of the better Hellboy stories. If you don't know what the Crooked Man is, definitely look that up. But Jack Kelsey playing Hellboy. Joe, what is your opinion on this? Is this will be the third time where we're beating Hellboy? Is it just like, are we beating a dead horse, or do we need to go back to an original, or do we need to go back to David Harbour? What do you actually think about this?
Honestly, the best Hellboy were those 2 animated movies.
Fair. I wasn't against the first one of the Golden Army, and honestly, David Harbour of Stranger Things, I think his Hellboy wasn't bad either.
I think he was fine as Hellboy. I think he just got a bad movie. I think he just got bad writers.
Yeah, it was bad writers. That's really what it was. I thought his Hellboy was great. But again, the OG, Ron Perlman, it's just one of those things where I sit there and say that, yeah, I'll be honest, you stick with certain characters. But again, Jack Kelsey, who's also in Deadpool, he was basically Black Tom for all those that don't know. If you go back to Deadpool 2, you'll see what he looks like. But I just think that, give him a fair shot. I just hope that he gets better writing. But again, Mike Mignola will be writing this, will be a part of the script writers. So hopefully we can push this past the Hollywood execs and get another good Hellboy movie. Like I said, we've had great Hellboy movies, but we never had a quintessential, holy crap, this is a Hellboy movie type of thing. But I'm willing to give it a shot. Plus, I love the Crooked Man story. It's still one of the better stories for Hellboy. But Joe, anything else you want to add to that?
No, I mean, the only other thing I would want is the Hellboy Starman and Batman crossover.
That would be interesting as shit. I would actually be ready. I would watch that.
I don't care if it's an animated thing. I just wanted that way I can finally have a movie with Jack.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But also things that are just really odd because, again, going back to the MCU, Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. It has been reported that in the next Avengers movie, which is the Kang Dynasty, that the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, although being much anticipated to show in the MCU outside of the alternate Mr. Fantastic that showed up in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, will not be showing in the Kang Dynasty. I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's a bad thing because I really do think they want to give the Fantastic Four and the X-Men their own run of the MCU, if you will. I don't think they want to do it where you kind of already have a multiverse saga thing going on. I think they want to tell that story first before they get to the X-Men or in the Fantastic Four. But Joe, what do you think? I mean, do you think it's a bad idea that the X-Men are not involved, or the Fantastic Four is not involved, or do you think it's smart thinking that we're just waiting to actually introduce them to the MCU at some point?
Well, I think the Fantastic Four is supposed to have a movie before Kang Dynasty takes off. But I think that's supposed to be a period piece, like in the 60s or 70s. I mean, that's pure conjecture. We know nothing about that. I think that's just been the longest running fan rumor, is that it's a period piece.
Yeah.
But it's still supposed to happen before it. And I also think the ongoing rumors that they're dealing with Ramatet. So either Ramatet deals with the Fantastic Four, or the Fantastic Four lost themselves and are trapped in the negative zone and have been stuck in the negative zone this whole time. And then that Signal and Shang-Chi is supposed to be them, even though now we know it was originally supposed to be the Signal of Scott and Hope, because we do know for now that Ant-Man literally changed its ending like 2 weeks before the premiere.
Yeah.
So I guess the signal is now supposed to be the Fantastic Four signaling there somewhere.
I guess that's what they're going with on that, because I thought the same thing too. Like we both thought that with
I think it was confirmed the original ending. They were stuck there, and then they were sending out the signal, and that's the signal in Shang-Chi
that was picking up from the rings.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I think his rings were supposedly like the rings that were surrounding Kang's citadel, or
well, I mean, it's the same technology, so I guess that does make sense. I mean, they glow. I mean, the same runes, the same glow, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, the only thing we know for a fact is that the Fantastic Four is supposed to have a movie before Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
As for the X-Men, we're not dealing with the X-Men until the next phase. If we get anything with the X-Men proper, mutants are already here in the MCU. We've already seen Charles Xavier in the MCU. Charles Xavier. We've already had an X-Man.
Yeah.
We have mutants. We have 2 of them now.
Yeah.
Technically 3 of them because of She-Hulk with Immortal Man or Mr. Immortal.
Mr. Immortal, yeah.
Mr. Immortal. He's also a mutant. I also say one of the dudes in Abomination's retreat circle was also a mutant.
Yep.
So we have mutants there too. So, but proper X-Men, like the actual team, not just Wolverine,
right?
The whole team. If they're gonna make an appearance, it's gonna be in Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, they're only saying Kang Dynasty. They have not said anything about Secret Wars. Their big push is Kang Dynasty,
right?
Then Secret Wars.
Which makes sense.
Because we've been hearing rumors left and right. Jeff Loveless, the writer of Quantum Mania and the writer of Kang Dynasty, Jeff Loveless, has already said Kang has a pretty high body count coming soon.
Oh yeah, because I mean, he kind of, well, not to spoil Quantum Mania, but he's like, "How many Avengers have I killed?" He literally says it. He's like,
which one are you? The one with the hammer?
Yeah, he's like, so we know a body count's coming. We do know that. But I'm not against, like I said before. I completely agree with you. I think that they're saving it for the next phase. There's no need to push it anywhere. Although Secret Wars has been talked about. So it's going to be interesting how they go to from there. But I'm
just waiting for them to roll up on the island off the coast of somewhere.
If they do Krakoa, if they do Krakoa, I'm going to be howling in that movie theater.
Either that, or what they'll do is they'll use that giant hand in the ocean that's been there since because we still don't know at what point in time Eternals actually takes place, because so far no one in the MCU is like, there's a giant head and giant hand out in the middle of the,
and no one noticed,
and no one's noticing this. Like, so that's where the mutants can be.
Possibly, it would just be interesting.
I just want, like I said, I just want an island to just like roll up on the coast of the U.S. and they're like, the hell.
That's always like the moment you see the tree, it's just gonna be like, it's like, yep, they're here. But no, but yeah, that's gonna be interesting once we actually see that happen in the MCU. But we do have one video game trailer, guys. For all those Budokai Tenkaichi fans, you've probably been seeing this. I'm not really much of a fan. I still love Dragon Ball Fighters, but I guess for those that love it, here's a trailer. Yeah. Goku Go Super Saiyan God Blue. Now, keep in mind, I'm trying to not knock that because that's actually the trailer for Budokai Tenkaichi 4. And I'm not against it. Like I said before, it wasn't one of my favorites. My favorite is still Dragon Ball Fighters, just because I do like the fact of a 2D fighting game that, again, I'm not against the whole 360 fighting up in the air, taking it to the ground. A lot of people enjoy it. I am not knocking that. I just like the fact the fighters kind of made it a little bit more free-flowing versus Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Now, of course, the trailer did release for it. I know a lot of people are excited about it. I get it. You get to see Goku go Super Saiyan God Blue. I'm happy for you. Any thoughts on that, Joe?
Oh, I loved it. This was one of my favorite Dragon Ball titles growing up. It was an arena fighter. Mm-hmm. You got a ridiculous amount of characters. Yeah, they were reskins, but like every Frieza soldier was the same character. Mm-hmm. You either had the blue one, the pink one, or the apple one, and they had a hand blaster. But you also got, like, in 3, you had some ridiculously fun things, like you could mess with the timeline. Mm-hmm. You could play, what was my favorite thing to do? The Devilman Challenge, where you fought as Devilman across every villain spectrum, and your only weapon was the Devil Beam.
Okay.
Which is an insta-kill on anybody that had an evil heart. So the whole challenge of that thing is go up against everybody, and you only had one move, and you were Dragon Ball power level. While everybody was Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT, and the only way to win was hit the person with the devil beam.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to do so many fun things, and there's like, all right, well, what if Piccolo kills Raditz? Or what if Raditz kills both Goku and Piccolo? Mm-hmm. Okay, what if Goku can hold out against Raditz and kill him? You just could do like super duper fun things, and they would change. The dialogue would change, storyline would change on some things. Okay. You would unlock hidden characters that way. Like you could actually kill Cell with Krillin, or you could defeat could absorb Krillin and become the goofy orange Cell. You could do all sorts of fun things in that game. You had a very extensive library. It was kind of the equivalent of Naruto Ninja Storm.
So basically the whole Storm Chronicles, but you can go back and
it's Storm Chronicles. I mean, it's just Storm Chronicles with a whole bunch of things. And if this is 4, that means we're getting all of Dragon Ball Z and probably all of Dragon Ball Super.
I would have to think so.
Plus probably the movies. So, just super fun stuff like that. And, it's very therapeutic to go into it, start a fight in West City, mm-hmm. and then turn it into a giant dust rubble. It's also extra therapeutic to just put 3-year-old Gohan into a mountainside again and again and again. I mean, you have a bad day, you just keep asking the child, why didn't you dodge?
That was really descriptive. It was really descriptive.
I had a lot of anger issues when I was younger.
That was real descriptive. Okay, well, Budokai Tenkaichi 4 will be coming out. Apparently, you can throw young Gohan into a mountainside. Oh, wow. That being said, switching gears for a second, guys, we are going to get into the Daredevil news because it is kind of a lot. We first start with this, that we do know that the Daredevil Born Again, John Bernthal, forgive me, I mispronounced your name, sir, will be returning as Frank Castle in The Punisher. Now, for a lot of this, guys, me and Joe have both sat there and said this, that the rumors are swirling. Like, we knew, first and foremost, a long time ago, Daredevil would be coming back with the Born Again series, getting the largest slate of episodes on Disney+. We also know that Vincent D'Onofrio will be reprising his role as Kingpin. Both him and Charlie Cox have been working out, as we have seen in various social Instagram photos. We've also seen Jessica Jones, played by Kristen Ritter, and Luke Cage, played by Mike Coulter. We have seen them out and about. However, nothing at this point has been confirmed, although they are kind of teasing about Jessica and Luke Cage actually using the names of the roles that they played.
Look, as long as they undo the finale of Luke Cage 2, like erase that finale part of Luke Cage 2, I am all for it on that one. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want them to undo the finale of Luke Cage season 2.
Oh, you're not the only one. I didn't like the fact he, became a mob boss. That's what I thought was kind of weird. But no, we do know John Bernthal will be returning as Punisher again. Punisher, if you have not seen that series, a great series. Was on Netflix, now on Disney Plus. I still think he did the character of Frank really a lot of justice as far as being this torn, disheveled, but focused, violent, but kind of not morale, but at the same time, he's not completely a dick either. But I love the fact of his character coming back to Daredevil. Now, that also being said, we did find out two other things. The characters that played Fergie and Karen, Deborah Ann Wolfe and Eldon Henson, as of this moment, and I say as of this moment, are not involved with Daredevil Born Again. These two did play iconic roles in Daredevil with Born Again because, again, this is still fresh. You will not see Born Again for at least a year. It doesn't come out until 2024. But I do think that a lot of people started to get a little bit nervous just because these two have yet to be a part of it. Now, I'm gonna go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
So I'm wondering if this is a scheduling conflict with the Foggy Nelson actor, because doesn't he play a role on the Not Quite Mighty Ducks series on Disney Plus too?
He sporadically shows up.
So I wonder if that's a conflict of scheduling on his part, because he is a Disney kid.
Yeah.
Like, he's been a Disney actor for a good amount of years.
Yeah.
The Karen, I have no idea. They may choose to make Elektra the focus, or they may put another one of Matt's love interests in this series, as opposed to, because, guys, I hate to say this, if you're not aware of what happens with Karen, it's probably better off she doesn't return if they're not going to address what happens with Karen. I mean, currently in the comics, Elektra is married to Daredevil, but that's the comics.
Right.
So I can understand why she may not come back, because, again, they may just want to focus on a different love interest.
Yeah.
That's had quite a few. The Foggy, it's potentially, like I said, could be conflict of scheduling, or it could be like the Ernie Hudson situation where they just haven't gotten to that point in production and they just haven't asked him back yet.
And that's the thing, though, because again, they still have plenty of time. So I still think they're going to be a part of it. I just think that as of right now, it's going to be one of those, we're getting around to it, but like you said, different scheduling, different other projects. I mean, as actors, you gotta take the work as it comes along. Completely understand that. Also, another character change as well. Vanessa Fisk is actually going to be played by Sandra Holt, which again is a different person for the role of Vanessa of the Kingpin's wife. Again, it's not bad. I can live with that, just because I do believe that the previous actress did a very good job as Vanessa. But I'm not against that casting change, because I don't mean to sound very cold about this, but Vanessa didn't really stand out to me and again, this is still the earlier parts, because Vanessa didn't really get cold blood with the Kingpin so much later. So I think that's, as far as this character change, it's not a big thing. It's not like, she's not going to capture her essence or anything like that, but I think it'll be fine. But what do you think, Joe?
I mean, just looking for these two pictures, these are two very different types of Vanessa. The first one is an I can save him.
Yeah.
The new one is I'm all in.
Yeah, pretty much. But again, I'm not against that though. But I still think between the previous actor and actress, I think though that'll get solved. I don't think they're going to leave that hanging, especially considering that Daredevil Born Again. Again, spring 2024. We're still in 2023. We're still in the early parts of 2023, so I don't think it'll be all bad. But again, I'm not torn up about that. I think it'll work out exactly the way it should. So with that being said, we do have one last trailer before we move on to.
Wait. We know who Daredevil's girlfriend's going to be in the new series if it goes forward the way it does.
Yeah.
It's Jennifer Walters.
Yeah.
I just completely forgot that. I was like, oh, wait. We already did cast the girlfriend.
Yeah. She said I can smash a lot of things, including that Murdoch. But yeah, she did. But yeah, she definitely did that. But before we get on to our comic book pulls, because I do have some questions, especially about Scarlet Witch, because they slick did King Arthur, but I'm gonna leave that there. Anyway, Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. If you have not seen the series on Crunchyroll, again, me and Joe both highly recommend it. If the first episode doesn't grab you, I don't know what else to tell you. But
the slap will get you.
Huh?
The slap will get you.
Yeah, at least that. But anyway, they did actually drop the season 2 trailer, and here it is.
あなたは進める子でしょ？
今行くよ。ミオリネさん！逃げずに進んだら、逃げるよりいっぱい手に入るんです。
私はスレッタが勝つって信じてるよ。
誰の思いも背負ってない奴が邪魔してんじゃねえ！
僕には何もないと思っていた。けど、そうじゃなかったんだ。
俺はスレッタ・マーキュリーに進めていない。君からガンダムと花嫁を奪い取る。
私が逃げなくてよくなったのはあんたのおかげなの。今みんなを救えるのはあなたたちだけよ。
進める。進んできた。逃げたら一つ。
進めば二つ。
ガンダムは暴力マシーンだってことお姉ちゃんに教えてあげるね。
最初からずっと流れさよい金属変状にバキを取り囲んで寂しいとか。いつまで見る気よクソ親父。
大丈夫です。私とエアリアルがついてますから。
この学園から出て行って。
父さんを引きずり込むよ、俺の計画に。
むざむざ死ぬのはごめんだよ。
アシアンのくせにヘラヘラと。やられたまま黙ってろってのかよ。
お前が来てからおかしくなったんだ。何もかも。
スレッタは正しいことをした。
お母さんはいつも私を前に進ませてくれる優しい魔法使いなんです。
戦い、失う悲しみもない世界。
約束したんです。ミオリネさんの誕生日まで私負けません。
Okay, and that was the trailer for season 2 of, as you can see, Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, and the infamous slap.
This also shows the new theme song, Slash. And I believe it premieres April 9th.
Yep. I just couldn't get past the hand. It's like I just can't get.
We're horrible.
I just can't get past the smile. The smile she had.
We are not traumatized by the horrors of war on the Get Bit podcast. We overly indulge them due to anime.
It's just the smile she had at the end of that. That will always stick with me. Oh, God. But yes, April 9th. I didn't double check that real quick. April 9th is definitely when season 2 comes out. Available on Crunchyroll. Season 1 is already available on Crunchyroll. So again, I highly recommend that. As we're about to go into our comics, again, Jaime no Ippo, if you have not seen it, you should. I'm trying to think of other animes that a lot of people are really surprised about. Attack on Titan, please do not watch the final season. Go back and watch the beginning first. Because
yeah, you guys have been gaslit enough on that whole season. I mean, you're just watching a boy become Hitler at this point.
Well, I mean, technically, he did warn them. He did warn them.
So did Hitler.
I'm going to wave at that one as it passes me by. I'm waving at that as it passes me by. But no, it's just, it's one of those things where I keep saying, guys, there's really a lot of great anime out there. Share it if you know it, or if there's ones that you believe people will like, go for it. Like, I was just telling a friend of mine about Sacred, and it's like, Sacred's another good one if you don't know about it, but if you got lucky enough to catch it on Toonami, because Toonami did air some episodes. It didn't air all of them, but it did air some. But again, it's one of those ones where it is definitely interesting. Someone did High School DD, and I'm like, you might want to check that before you start watching it.
All you got to do and just say this, like, sir, you're clearly there for the plot.
Because he told me, I was like, you okay? I'm not judging. There's no judgment. There really isn't if that's your thing. But while Joe is getting his comic book pulls up, let me at least show some love, especially to people that show love to us. I am talking about Rick's Comic City, that is located in Nashville and Clarksville, Tennessee. Definitely check them out. They have been voted Nashville's #1 go-to place for comic books and manga and things of that nature. So if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check them out. You can also check out their website at rickscomiccity.com that I have up there, to where you can buy, you can order your comic book pulls directly from the website or call in person. Completely up to you to do so, to do that. Also, if you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, if you do have a local comic book store near you or a library, please support them. They usually do carry the most up-to-date comics, mangas, anime, multimedia for you to enjoy. So if you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check out Rick's Comic City. If you are not, please support your local libraries and local comic book stores, because trust me, you're going to miss them when they're gone. But what you got, Joe?
Okay, so before we jump into comics, we do want to shout out our buddy in arms, always eternal host, third host here, Shadow. We are also, because Shadow and I went and did a thing that has already been blocked by YouTube.
Dang, already?
Oh yeah, it was like in the first 4 hours.
That's a record. What did y'all do?
It was the whole episode subtitled. I mean, were you that surprised?
I mean, 4 hours is a hell of a hot record. Oh, y'all did was it the Ranger episode you covered, or what was it?
Oh no, we watched and streamed the first episode of Osama Sentai King Goger. Watched the first thing.
Yeah,
did live reaction, showed the whole episode. We also got it in podcast format. I went and bought a King O caliber like right after the episode. So now that's a hefty thing. It's for you it's a short sword. For me, it's a normal sword.
Jesus,
but
okay.
It's a 520 centimeters long.
Dang. That is a good God. Okay.
If you attach the king weapon, it becomes 720 centimeters long.
Wow. Okay.
So, I went and bought my first morpher almost immediately. It is also affectionately called by us as the Boppet sword.
Not to get that out of my
I'll
head.
send you the video of the demonstrations, and you will see why it's called the Boppet sword.
I'm gonna look forward to this one because.
So we watched it. We loved it. Like Shadow loved it so much, says he's going to start watching this weekly.
Okay.
Like the amount of world building they do, all the characters are great. The first episode is literally Attack on Titan.
Okay.
The main bad guys it's bugs versus bugs. It's evil bugs versus good bugs because all the King Ogers are all bug based.
Okay.
Their rival empire is the Bugnarok Empire, where the main villain is an earthworm, evil earthworm, which I will always make earthworm Jim jokes. Each king has not only their own kingdom, but their own squires. There's our first main team Purple Ranger, our very first trans ranger, possibly. Okay. Or maybe not trans, but maybe gender neutral or non-binary ranger.
Okay.
The actual Red King is naturally a gigantic asshole. So the main Red Ranger has decided to become the Tyrant King against all kingdoms. But naturally, he's going to be the main good guy. So sword fighting, it's good. Me and him are in the Black Ranger is our favorite one. Because he comes from an agricultural kingdom.
Okay.
Tofu, and he's got one of the best names ever, Kakukuri Dabowski.
Okay.
Shadow has also fallen in love with the Yellow Ranger because she is a princess, but she is a step on you kind of princess.
That says a lot about what Shadow's
That's not my fault.
That says a lot. All right.
Yeah, she is one of those. She's a doctor. She, much like all doctors, doctors of her caliber, she has a very, very bad god complex. And she is the ruler of the kingdom of medicine and art. She is like, kind of looks and dresses like Princess Peach and Princess Toadstool, but has the attitude of Juri Han from Street Fighter.
Damn. Okay. That's
here in my mouth. The Blue Ranger is, what if Kuwabara was a technological genius? Like, he even has the Kuwabara Pompadour, but it's blue. So we're just now going to call him Blue Abara.
Oh, God. That would be interesting.
He is the king. His kingdom is of technology. And the way he got to be king is he was a kid in the slums who lied, cheat, steal, and invented his way to becoming king of the kingdom.
He's Usopp. He's basically Usopp from one.
Well, when he lies, cheats, and steals, he can back it up.
Okay, then never mind. Then he's not Usopp. Never mind.
Like, we get to see the Megazord.
Okay.
In the first episode, we get to see Blue immediately call the actual Red King on his BS and walk out on everybody. Next episode is going to feature the Blue Ranger really heavily, so we are really, really digging this series. Like, the first episode, I made just a gigantic, great impression. So I will toss you the link to the thing. I'll toss you a link to the episode I got downloaded. It's really good.
Yeah,
we had a really, really good time with it. We also like that the attendants have big personalities. Like, Red doesn't have one. His attendants are going to be the kids of the orphanage he's from.
Okay.
Purple is a super sleepy girl. Black is a no actor. Yellow is an old man, kind of a butler scenario, who knows how to handle the queen, who just kind of like plays on her god complex. Like, if you don't go, they're gonna think you're weak. He's like, get the mantis.
Dang.
And like stuff like that. I mean, it was just a whole lot of fun. I cannot wait to see the rest of this series. The other interesting thing about the series is this is not normal Earth. This is its own Earth.
As in, they have their own Earth, or it's all the same Earth?
So when Super Sentai, the Reiwa period opened, it did so with Zenkaiger. Zenkaiger established Super Sentai multiverse.
Okay.
So this is its own universe.
The
only human civilizations on this Earth are the 5 kingdoms.
Gotcha.
Until the 6th Ranger comes along, and then we learn, oh, hey, there was a 6th kingdom on the opposite side of the Earth that you guys never heard of.
They have to introduce the Rangers somehow, some way, but wow. But okay.
No, but they also established in the opening of the thing that the Rangers are 5 great warriors that ascended to the rank of king during the first invasion, and these are their descendants.
Gotcha.
Okay. So it's just like everything. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys gotta definitely put that link. Was it on his Ranger cast or?
It was on his Shadow Creates thing, and it immediately got taken down. The full episode for you, it's on the Google Drive.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna look that up.
I can just Google Drive the first episode to you. We are not about pirating. We are not about pirating on this podcast.
We really are not. We really are definitely not. But no, I'm definitely gonna look into that. But
like, I'll send you a link to the Bop It sword. That thing's amazing.
Just a Bop It. Why am I getting Super Mario vibes from this? I feel like
No, literally the Red Ranger horn you pull, the blue dragonfly you flick, the yellow mantis you tug, the purple butterfly you press, and then the black bee you push in. And you do it in order to transform into the correct ranger.
Why do I feel like this could go horribly, horribly wrong?
I'll show you one of the demonstration videos before we leave tonight.
Oh,
it is the best sword ever. It's like the best morph forever. It's why I immediately went and bought it.
I feel like it go horribly wrong.
Like Shadow's like, I got wrist bracers. Me, I got a sword. I got a bopping sword.
I just feel like you go horribly wrong. But all right, I'm sorry.
No, you're.
I'm just thinking about the fact of how that would go. Just laughing my tail off right now. But I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. I see
I'll
it.
do the demo video after we're done. All right, comics this week. First comic is Donna DC, The Adventures of Superman, Jonathan Kent. This is written by Tom Taylor, art by Clayton Henry, and colors by Jordi Belair. And this is the continuing story of Superman's son, John Kent. The whole premise of this is, as it says, The Road to Injustice. The whole premise of this book is Ultraman is tripping through the multiverse, killing Superman. John has to go to the Injustice universe to recruit Injustice Superman to help face off against Ultraman.
Although I do love the fact that they're kind of hinting at a different power he's getting. Like,
yes, so this is the other thing is John is getting the electric blue Superman powers.
Yeah.
Which honestly I kind of think is super cool because that lets Clark be Clark and lets John get John gets his dad's old powers from the 90s.
Yeah.
But it makes him a different Superman.
Yeah. Which again I dig. The fact that they had Val Zod and Red Tornado. Red Tornado.
That was my favorite thing is where Val thanks John's like, thank you for not immediately jumping to conclusions and causing a fight. And John's like, no, I mean, I've always been a talk first, punch later. Plus, superheroes fighting superheroes under misconception just belittles both of us.
That is the truth. That's why I was like, when you sat there and said, I was like, Rip, thank you for not immediately going to fight mode. That was funny.
That was my favorite thing is where he just like, no, supervillains or superheroes fighting supervillains under simple misconception. It just demeans and belittles the both of us.
Yeah. Although the whole thing about Red Tornado, it's like, oh yeah, I'm Lois Lane because my Superman was killed. I was like, okay, Lois Lane being Red Tornado. That's different. But no, I do like the fact of just, the fact that Ultraman being around and that you would need John. It's like, well, we can't call your dad because if we called your dad, he's pretty much DOA. So we need you. Which I do love the fact of that. So it's a great setup, even though this is issue number 1. This is still a great setup to the story because yes, as Joe had called out so long ago, we are getting an Injustice again.
Now, the issue we have here with this book is, of course, the controversy of John Kent himself. Guys, you're gonna have to let this go. The fact that he's a gay Superman,
You would think by now.
So many people were so happy that the original John Kent book was canceled. It's like, guys, the book wasn't canceled. Like all the superhero books are getting canceled and rebooted later on in Donna DC. Every single line. The only difference is John just got his own book and Clark went back to being standard Superman. John Kent is still a Superman. Keenan Kong is still a Superman. Power Girl is still Power Girl and doing her own thing. And honestly, I like that little psychic thing she's got going on because the backup in the newest thing was her and Kara trying to work out their problems. Right. And Kara and Kara have a lot of problems with each other.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
But no, like people have got to let this go. Let John be John. He's not even that old of a character. I think he's less than 10 years old.
And yet it just amazed me. But the weird part about it is that just goes to show you that some folks just will not. Well, they're just trying to be modern with the times. Yeah, as they should.
Now, to be fair, and this is the only thing I'll take up for them.
Okay.
A lot of this originally was misreported during the last run of Superman because the headliners would always be Superman is now gay. They were not putting Superman's son is taking over the mantle of Superman and is gay.
Well,
the way the news outlets were pushing it was Superman is now gay. Two very different things.
True.
That's my only thing I'll say to that.
But it's like what you would think after John Kent's issue first came out, it would have been like, oh, this is what they meant. And that should be the end of it. But you're just going to have those out there that are just going to just I've understood that there are just going to be some out there that are just going to be complaining no matter what.
Yeah, they are. They absolutely are. Like, John doesn't even have his own rogues gallery. At this point, it was one dude.
Mm-hmm.
It was his own personal Lex Luthor until Lex Luthor go, you shall have no Luthor before me.
Yeah, he's always got to, he's always got to be that. He's got to be the "you belong to me" type of villain.
Until it proved that John was actually smarter than Luthor, meaning John has a 13th level intelligence.
Yeah, has to be.
I kind of call BS on that. Maybe just like John really studied Luthor playing chess and just knew what to do.
There's that too.
But no, now we know John's rogue gallery is Ultraman and the Crime Syndicate because he has a very personal vendetta against Ultraman.
Yep. Well, yeah, he's trying to take his dad out. That's kind of a given.
Oh, he's the reason why John Kent went from 8-year-old John.
Oh,
Kent
yeah, he imprisoned him on that.
18-year-old John Kent.
Yeah.
It's like he robbed my parents of my childhood.
Yeah, I forgot he did imprison him. Sorry, forgot about that part. So he's got a reason to pick a bone with him.
Oh yeah. So, I dig it. I have been liking Donna's DC thus far. I think we haven't hit too many stumbling blocks at the moment. So here's the open.
Yeah.
Hopping on over, we got the part 5 of Flash: The 1 Minute War. This is written by Jeremy Adams, pencils by Roger Cruz, inks by Wellington Diaz, Roger Cruz, colors by Luis Guerrero. We're just picking up where we left off with 1 Minute War. Unfortunately, looks like Wally has been killed in doing a not Need for Speed, Fast and Furious, as he got a Speed Force powered Dodge Charger and almost immediately got destroyed.
Yeah.
Irie gets her new superhero name in Thunderheart. Jay, I love the fact that they're using Jai just like a giant Speed Force induced Mace and kunai and chain almost.
Let's be honest, they play Get Help. They play Get Help, and they pretty much play Get Help. They realize, oh yeah, because he has the ability to take the Speed Force and turn into strength, you're basically a human wrecking ball.
Yeah, but the thing is Jai still can't interact with the world outside of making himself more dense and muscular.
Yeah.
But he cannot physically do anything. So Irie is using a Speed Force tether to pretty much make herself wrecking ball from the crew.
Yeah.
I also like that Superman has just enough power and speed to at least clamp down on Tails.
That was funny. That part.
That's all Superman can do because he's not as fast as the Flash family. Just enough to help.
That whole part was just quick enough just to take the hands. Dang.
And of course, we're getting very upset Barry Allen, but he's like, I got it, guys. Time travel backwards before this happened. I'm just like, God damn it, Barry.
That's always the answer. I feel like it's like watching The Flash and going, I've got it. If I go back in time, I can stop this whole thing from
I
happening.
feel like you need a grandma just to come up beside him with a slipper every time he says, I got it.
You almost want to sit there and be like, no. It's almost like if your solution is to go back in time, no. Just like find something else. But no. I mean, I dug it, especially the fact that Jay Garrick being deadly with a tooth, which is still funny to me.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen. I wonder when was the last time I saw that. Oh, I remember it was Ultimate Hawkeye with the paperclip.
Yeah, I was like, he is deadly with a tooth. Jesus.
I mean, this man was a World War II veteran. He's seen some stuff and he's done some stuff.
I like the fact he's sitting there. I mean, he's literally sitting there saying, "You know what? I got one loose molar. Do you got a dentist?" I was like, he is not about to. Yep, he did, and it's loose. He's like, I'm gonna just show you how dangerous I really am. I was like, you just killed a guy with a tooth. I think you've won, sir. I think you've won.
I mean, the only other thing I can say about this is that we know who this child. We know who the third child is.
Yeah.
By now, it's like very obvious who the third West child is. If you're reading 1 Year War,
yeah,
or 1 Minute War,
yeah. But I don't want to spoil it. I mean,
I don't want to spoil it either. I dig it. I think it's going to be wrapping up soon. I think in the next 2 issues or something.
Well, yeah, because I think it's a 7-part series, so we got 2 more.
The other weird thing is also there was another flashback that came out. It's a comic book that has the last 4 issues combined into one book.
Interesting.
Which kind of struck me as super weird. Kind of a half trade.
That's weird to do for it. I
thought it was a one shot, and then I started reading. It's like this is just the last bit of the books. It's like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that just seemed super weird.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Moving on, we got Static Shadows of Dakota #2. This is written by Nicholas DePerivy and art by Vita Aliyah. There is no credits page because they actually put the credits on the front of the page on the cover for a change. Iban is still terrifying, and this is slowly tripping into body horror sometimes.
Yeah, which I can't blame him for, but I do like the fact that it is taking Stack a different way as far as him mentoring. I was trying to put the Quincy kid somewhere. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, is that supposed to be like Iban's little brother or something? I was going to ask you.
I want to say it is, but I'm not 100% sure.
Did he? No. Iban had a cousin in the animated series, right? Wasn't it Rubber Band Man?
But his cousin's name was Quincy, too.
Was it?
Yeah, in the animated series it was.
But it was Rubber Band Man, right? Because he was the one that was dating Static's sister.
Yeah, it was Rubber Band Man, but his name was Quincy. So that's what makes me think we're following the animated series. Is Quincy basically going to be his cousin? I mean, his relative, but if so, is he Rubber Band Man? But I don't know. I'm kind of spitballing on that right now. Yeah,
I mean, this was a good book. I really, really like it. As I said before, Static is a very pivotal character to a lot of us growing up, myself included. I like that we got some of the other Boom Babies. That one dude, I still could not tell. The one dude in the gym, I could not tell if he was a good guy or a bad guy sometimes.
The one that grew into a golem type?
Yeah, I could not tell if he was a good guy or a bad guy.
I think he's kind of in between. I want to say he's a bad guy, but he's not full over.
Because he was clearly defending the people when those dudes attacked, but then I think he crushed one of those dudes' skulls. So
yeah, Lethal Protector.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Lethal Protector.
And then was it Frida that bent the wrench, or was that a different character?
Stag was a different character.
Okay, I'm getting used to the new character design, so I'm not sure who's who like entirely. Even though this is season 2, like some of these new character designs they've got going on are throwing me off on who's who.
Gotcha. No, that was Stagger, a different character.
Again, dig it. Please support this book. Milestone needs love. Static needs to keep going. Static needs to be a prominent DC character.
Static needs to have a movie, but
I thought Michael B. Jordan was doing that.
Huh?
I thought Michael B. Jordan was one of the checklists for him.
It's a whole lot of talking, but I think he wants. I mean, that would be the goal right there to get a Static movie, and I think it's just finding the writer and the director. But if Michael B. Jordan gets a shot at it, have at it.
Well, if Michael B. Jordan's one, and we know Ryan Coogler's going to end up directing it.
Yeah, I would love it. I would love to see Ryan Coogler. I mean, he did a good job with Black Panther. I think he can do the same with Static. But
if those two are giant anime nerds, imagine what they can do with a Static movie.
True.
This is basically just Goku on a Nimbus.
Still,
except your Nimbus is a manhole cover.
I mean, but who doesn't hate Goku besides Vegeta? And
Me.
Vegeta doesn't even hate Goku.
Anyone that knows that Goku's a bad parent.
Oh yeah, he's the greatest absentee father ever.
Well, until later, then you realize he's actually a really good dad to Goten.
1 out of 2. 1 out of 2.
To be fair, his lack of parenting did go on to become a multi-million-dollar scholar.
Yeah, true, but he was supposed to surpass his father. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Rogue Sun which one are we on nowadays? 11?
11, I think.
Yeah, 11. It's right there at the top. I was looking for elsewhere for it. Written by Ryan Perot, art by Abel, colors by Natalia Marks. So this is a lead-in towards Supermassive.
Mm-hmm.
We learned some new things about the Rogue Sun armor. Is that Rogue Sun armor has basic abilities, and that it also has abilities that are different for each wielder. We learn here that the current Rogue Sun, much like Rogue Suns of older, can manifest a Rogue Sun sword. We also learned that he is missing his high school prom dance.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people want him to be there. Certain people don't give a crap that he's here. Clearly, they give a crap that he's there, and they're just fronting. Meanwhile, he is trying to get a hold of a magical item, which he was told not to get, but he's going to get anyways because Dylan is just that kind of kid. He has actually taken to the newest ghost the Rogue Sun armor has provided him, and is actually listening to him as a proper mentor, going, "You were so much better than my dad."
He helped him. It's like, you do know you have a sword, right? Shink. It's like, oh, this is cool. I got to use this a while back.
He fights a witch queen or a witch queen's protector, which cannot be killed. But it turns out she's one of the people that help power the Rogue Sun armor.
Yeah.
Or is one of the people that are part of the Rogue Sun team.
Well, they're the ones that oversee or deem worthy of who actually has it.
Oh,
so
God,
that's what
of
it is.
Ashanti.
Yeah, it's a bit of Ashanti because she kept on saying that, yeah, your father was a dick, but at least he was worthy of it. The jury's still out on you. So
yeah.
Damn.
Overall, we got some new villain. We got another new villain getting ready to do. Of course, being that Dylan is a high school student, naturally we're going to go to the cliche fight at the prom.
Yeah.
Oh no, people will know my identity. And then Supermassive 2 hits.
Still funny about Hellbent. Hellbent was like, yeah, so we had a deal. It's like, yeah, but you're still going to do what I want you to do.
My favorite thing was the dad going, it's like, I really didn't want you doing any of this crap. It's like, but you were in coma. It's like, yeah, but you weren't supposed to wake me up this way.
Right. It's like we're all not getting what we want out of this, but hey. deal with it. No, I thought that was interesting too. The fact that he was going to remake a deal. It's like, look, just you leave my kid alone. I will literally get you this power. Okay.
Yep.
And it was like, but until then, just like, dang. But no, it was pretty good. Right.
Moving on over to Marvel, Scarlet Witch #3. This is written by Steve Orlando, art by Sarah Pacelli, and inking by Elisabetta DeMarco.
Yeah.
And colors also by Matt Wilson. This was an interesting one. I kind of dug this because I do dig when Wanda teams up with her siblings, most notably Polaris, but I'm also very biased because I'm a big Polaris fan.
Yeah.
I also dug the way this was told more as a fable than an actual comic book. Like this was told like an actual storybook rather than a straight up comic. Really, like, what if King Arthur was a girl? What if we went on a journey to get King Arthur her own version of Excalibur because her version sucks?
Yeah, pretty much. As I was like, this is basically King Arthur and Excalibur.
Yeah, for me, I read it as like, oh, you're King Arthur. Oh, your version of Excalibur sucks, honey. Let's get you a better one.
And then they just conjure it up. It's like, oh yeah, so let's just make into what it really should be. It's like, okay, the whole time the sisters are kind of having a reunion, which I thought was interesting. But it was an okay story. I dug it.
I think this one's better than the first issue. I think the strongest issue thus far has probably been the Viv Vision one.
Yeah.
We do know that this now is probably going to be an ongoing series. I'm okay with that. I dig Scarlet Witch. The fact that Darcy's in this is still a little weird, but whatever. She's gonna. We're getting characters from television before because remember Coulson was a thing in the comics for quite a while, and when they had white Nick Fury, suddenly we had black Nick Fury as Nick Fury Jr., which never sat right with me. But now Nick Fury is gone, white Nick Fury is gone, and Nick Fury Jr. is just now standard Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Thank God. We've moved from David Hasselhoff to Samuel L. Jackson as God intended.
That's still funny. Just
this book, I dig it. Artwork is fantastic. Again, reads like a storybook as opposed to a comic. I'm okay with that. What little comic book this does have, I'm fine with. As I already said, big Polaris fan. I like seeing her. I love that she's still like this fashionista kind of
boutique kind of thing.
Hipster. Yeah, kind of a bougie. She's just kind of a bougie mutant superhero.
Yeah.
My favorite was still that she complained about someone spilling her flat white, then puppeteering Laura against other people and using her just as a giant blender against robots. I mean, that endears me more to her. And Wanda, I mean, Wanda's just Wanda. Wanda's fantastic. Very few times have I read a bad Wanda book.
Yeah. It was interesting. That's why I was like, I kind of had to read it that way. I was like, okay, so this is basically Excalibur. So I can roll with this. But yeah, I really like the fact they did kind of have a little mini reunion, which kind of leads me to wonder, like, okay, this is leading to something else. But no, it was good.
I'm sure all three of the Maximoff children are, well, let me rephrase that because technically Polaris is not a Maximoff. All three of Magneto's kids.
Yeah.
That he claims ownership of.
Yeah.
We'll probably get together at some point and have a big crossover between all three of the kids.
Pretty much.
And I'm also fairly certain we will have Billy and Tommy make an appearance in this book too, because you're not going to have a Scarlet Witch series without at least one cameo from her kids.
Of course. We're definitely going to see that.
Moving on to the finale tonight, I think. We may have one more, I'm not sure.
Yeah, one more. For that one, definitely one more.
X-Men number 20. This is written by Jerry Duggan with art by Stefano Castellini. Art colors by Federico Blee. We just have more fallout from the Brood. They find Brew. I like that Magic is now dancing with little broodlings that are doing Thriller.
Yeah, that was funny.
It doesn't take much to make Magic happy, but it's just small joys for her.
But
we also
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say because you're about to get to the point I'm about to make, but go ahead. You're about to say it.
They're now fighting on a three-way front now because the Brood are doing bad things because of one thing. Jean and Magic and Brew have to fight something else. Forge and M are still doing Space Odyssey 2001 stuff.
Pretty much.
This is still all happening before Sins of Sinister. I don't even think X-Men proper is going to touch Sins of Sinister. They may just make one of, whoo, that was a thing.
I'm trying to figure out how that certain character got evolved into this. That's all I was like, really? As many times that name has been said, this is where you pop up? Okay.
Which one are we talking about? Nightmare?
Nightmare.
Oh, no. We know exactly why he's doing that. He's paying Jean back for the little mental dominance she smacked him down with during the Halloween issue.
Oh, yeah. This is get back for that. But I was like...
Oh, yeah. This is just pettiness.
Yeah. Because Brew's like, wait a minute. They're always under my control. Okay, you sleep, friend. You sleep now. And then Nightmare's like, yeah, so...
Remember Halloween? Remember Halloween? You know how petty I am? I'm coming back at you almost 6 months later.
And then the last part still killed me. I'm like, really? Wilson Fisk?
That was the other thing that threw me off because this actually does tie into Daredevil because at the end of Devil's Reign, we do see Typhoid Mary and Wilson Fisk to sail off on a boat. We just didn't realize that the boat was heading towards Krakoa and that Wilson Fisk can claim legal residency on Krakoa because he's married to Typhoid Mary.
That is still crazy.
And he is still petty against Emma Frost, and Emma Frost like, fuck all my lives.
It's just the whole thing is like married to Typhoid Mary got him citizenship to Krakoa. And it's like, wow.
And the only thing they're there to do is screw with Emma Frost, which is just a bad idea in general.
You would think. You would think so, and yet he'll find a way. Life finds a way.
Yeah, the only problem I have with that one is Typhoid Mary is a powerful mutant because 3 different personalities, 3 different sets of powers.
Yeah.
But Wilson is on an island where Emma is not only Emma Frost and in her element.
Yeah.
She's also one of the leaders of the Krakoan government. Still in an island of friends and telepaths. I don't know what Wilson is planning, but he does not have his mind control powers at the moment.
Yeah.
So I don't know what his big plan is. I don't know how he plans on screwing with Emma. I think this may just be a one and done on their end. Because, it's do no harm. If they don't obey the Krakoan rules, they're going to see Sabretooth real quick.
Yeah. So it's one of those not
they have no and remember, death is a revolving door on this island. So all this is going to do is if he kills Emma, this is just going to make her come back super pissed.
Yep. But again, that's one of those. It's going to be one of those where I'm just going to be laughing mostly. It's this is one of those you ask for it situations.
Or they can just keep killing Mary until they get the right personality they want.
That is true.
Because remember, the last before she became a stable version of Mary, she was a nun in a church that Matt went to for the majority of the Zdarsky run.
That's still creepy, but okay. No, that's still creepy. I can't find.
I mean, I'm not arguing with that, but the other thing I want to say about this one, Tiny Iceman.
Hey, whatever works. It's like, we left him behind. Nope, right here. That part
I
was
also
cool.
like the Firestar's like, God bless, it's cold outside.
That part was funny. It's like, he stayed behind. Nope, just made myself smaller. It'll take me a second.
Gave me a moment.
Just, good God. I was laughing about that one. I'm like, really? Just, you said you're going to do that joke? But again, can't knock it. It was pretty good.
Yep. So that's all the comics we have to look at. I will say, okay, so I still hurt myself by reading Spider-Man. And we have now entered the phase, and we're not covering this book. This is one of those things where I'm going to peek in to see if it's done and over with. So they have finally revealed what is actually caused Peter and MJ and the whole breakup and the whole Spider-Man thing.
Okay.
It is some petty shit. So, do you remember the last big event where Asgard invaded all of New York and the Frost Giants and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some minor god of the Ice Giants who is just petty and wants revenge on Spider-Man for like no reason.
Interesting.
So it is an Asgardian. It is a curse from the Ice Giants, which has separated Peter and MJ and given MJ her own husband and children, possibly. So these could be magic Nord constructs, like how Mike Murdoch was a thing.
That is okay. It's interesting, but okay.
So yeah, apparently all this is happening because somebody was a sore. One of the ice gods, or one of the gods of the Ice Giants, was a sore loser. Is what I'm getting.
Gotcha.
We waited a half a year and been gaslighted this long to say someone's a sore loser.
Still funny though. Hey, if you think about it, that's hellfire planning. That you got to hold on to some. You got to hold on to some hateful hate to get that far. Let's just be honest.
I'll check back in a couple months on this book, but I'm not looking forward to anything. And apparently, the Dan Slott Spider-Man book is where it get like stupid things, like someone cut Moreland with the dagger of undoing, and all the Spider-Mans he ever drained has leaped out of his body.
Interesting.
So that means the Marvel vs. Capcom Spider-Man is now alive and well again.
Interesting. That really
and
is.
The Spider-Man and his amazing friend Spider-Man is alive and well aware of the horrors that his whole family was murdered by Morlun.
Damn. That's almost a good night, everybody. Well, that's almost a good night, everybody. Well, that'll do it for the comics. So, Joe, thank you for that. As we're about to wrap up, guys. So, Joe, anything new you got on the horizon you let people know about, sir?
I'm still doing Marvel Midnight Suns every so often on Twitch. Excuse me. I just got Hulk back. I think I'm towards Endgame. I did pick up the Venom and Deadpool DLC. It's enjoyable. I like that Eddie has his own little corner in the Abbey where he does news broadcasting and is constantly obsessing over vampire invasions in Brooklyn, which is actually happening in the game.
Wow.
I like that they fight Dracula, and one of Eddie's things like, I didn't expect Dracula to look like Dracula. It's like, what did you think he was going to look like? It's like, not like that, not like the movies, but he really does look like the movie version of himself.
I thought it was a Nicolas Cage moment. I feel like it's a Nicolas Cage moment on that note.
Other than that, just work. At some point, I'll shoot a Battle Spirits video. It's just work's taking a lot out of me right now.
Oh.
I'm very tired.
I get it. Trust me. I understand.
No, that's really about it. At some point, I'll shift over. I'm just waiting to see what I'll play next. I have a Chinese action RPG that was on sale that I picked up that I will try and play and see what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know too much about it. Just kind of looked like an decent action RPG, and China's been putting out pretty solid action video games. So I thought, what the heck? It's on sale for $29.99 from $79.99. So I didn't take it as it being bad and being on discount. I just took it as like, this is the only way anyone's going to pay attention to this game. So why not give it a shot?
Fair point. Can't knock that. Okay. No, I thought about games I was looking forward to, but that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother can of worms. But that being said, guys, you definitely can catch Joe on his YouTube page at Total Justice Gaming. You can also catch him on his Twitch page at Joe Chai last name. And of course, from his mini cosplays, as you go on the National Scarlet Spider of him and our esteemed colleague Shadow, basically cosplayed Nick Fury and Baron Zemo. I think Shadow got the better deal of that one personally, although you did sit there and tell him I told you on the shots. Aside from that, guys. That
was a photo I actually directed, and I wanted Shadow to be the main focus on that one.
Well, you got a future, sir. That's all I'm gonna say. Especially the shot in the direction, I thought it was pretty cool. But as far as me, guys, of course, Black Spartan, of course, I also go by Blackbox447 on all social media. I usually do reviews and everything that I write, that I watch, that I play, and read and gym stuff because I have recently moved. So I realize as I get older, I need to take more time to recover. So I will be back in the gym next week. I cannot freaking wait for that. Of course, you can definitely find me as I usually post everything there. I also do a wrestling column for Blurred's Eye View. Why wrestling? Because wrestling is real and people are fake. Because I am really looking forward to what they're doing with this Bloodline story as it's climaxing. I just hope it doesn't take over Cody Rhodes. Because let's be honest, he is probably going to get the belt at WrestleMania at this point. But that's neither here nor there. That also being said, guys, link at the bottom and make that just a little bit bigger for you guys to see. If you copy and paste that link into your browser, we'll take you to Linktree. That's the YouTube and Facebook groups for all the podcasts. How the friend we got here, get bit. Of course, y'all this podcast. Like, share, and subscribe, and let us know what you think about everything we talked about tonight. We definitely want to keep the conversation going. Also, even though transmission levels are getting lower, if you are going to be traveling, please wear a mask. If you're going to be a place with high traffic, please wear a mask. If you feel a least bit sick, please stay home because Joe will tell you as a healthcare professional, his job is harder because people do not listen. So please, oh please, let's be smarter, let's be safer when we're out and about. That's all I ask. At the same time, guys, as we're wrapping this up, I am saying this at the beginning of 2023, and I will say it's the end of 2023. We are all in different lanes. We are all running different races. If you put the work in, the reward is bound to come. However, if someone does accomplish something before you, please congratulate them. There is no need to be salty. There's no need to be hating. We all need to be a society of congratulating people more, especially in the nerd and blurred and cosplay communities. We need to have less. We need to have more appreciation, less criticisms, and less gatekeeping. I am just telling you this because it definitely needs to happen. So again, in the words of Will Wheaton, don't be a dick. Aside from that, guys, you can definitely catch our podcast again on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, all under Get Bit Podcast. Definitely check them out. As we usually do up here every Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel. And of course, your boy's birthday's tomorrow. So again, hitting the big 40. You feel like you want to cash at me? I'm not going to stop you, but I don't turn away free money. Donations are accepted. We do accept Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We turn away no donation. We do not turn away monetary donations. But again, that's just me, getting to celebrate the big 40 tomorrow. So, yeah, seasoned gamer. I'm not old. I'm seasoned. I'm leveled up. I'm more of a Sephiroth that people can appreciate, except without the murderous need to kill everybody. Let's go with that. But as we wrap this up, sir, Joey, last words we call tonight, sir?
My birthday present to you will be a midlife crisis.
Damn.
Maybe a Stunticon.
Maybe I could have passed the midlife crisis. Damn.
Well, we both know it's not. Well, maybe it'll be a midlife crisis and a fast car because I think I got his extra Stunticon I can give to you.
Oh, crisis. That's going to be the clip for the show. That being said, guys, he's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Give It Podcast tonight. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll all get through this. Have a good weekend, guys. Peace.
Remember, I have a Boppet sword.